We'll begin our service this morning with the lighting of our chalice by a well-known friend, Catherine Nicholson. We kindle this flame as a symbol of our gathering.
May the light of understanding illuminate our darkness. May the warmth of sharing bring us peace.
And now Catherine's going to say a few words in recognition of the sad thing.
We decided to start the service this morning, Sue and I, with an acknowledgement of the sudden and shocking loss of Wayne Hanna this past week, a beloved member of our church community. And I'm not sure everyone has heard about this. Wayne and his wife Marga were on vacation in Germany, visiting relatives and celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary, when Wayne became unwell with a previously undiagnosed heart condition. He had been in hospital for more than a week, but tragically he died last Wednesday night during the repair surgery. Wayne had been a member of our community for more than 28 years. He'd served on the board as well as numerous committees, task forces, and teams of all sorts over the years. Most recently, he was serving as chair of our Heart, Mind, Spirit team, and we will all dearly miss him. Marga, of course, is devastated, but fortunately she's surrounded and supported by close family over there in Germany. She has been staying with them all along. She will remain staying with them for the next week or two as she takes care of all the paperwork and the details surrounding her need to do all of that before she's able to come home. Her two sons have been very supportive. One of them is going to be coming west when she comes back to Canada and is going to be staying with her for at least a couple of weeks. Marga has expressed to those who have been talking to her via email and also by phone, deep appreciation for the tremendous love and support that has been extended to her from her NSUC family of friends here, back at home. So thank you from Marga.
Our service the way it was planned, and actually perhaps it's quite timely. So please stand now and come and sing a song with me and think about Wayne.
Bring you home.
remembers the song Big Yellow Taxi by Joni Mitchell with its memorable phrase, "Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone?" Put your hand up if you remember. Yeah, that's what I thought. Most of you. And if you don't remember, don't worry. You will have the chorus stuck in your head longer than you want once you've sung it a few times. Joni published her song in 1970 as a plea for the environment, really. But her words, and especially that famous refrain, also relate to our service this morning. Because we're going to contemplate our human limitations, including our mortality. And on a brighter note, we'll also consider how to make the best of the time we have left. If you think about it, that's exactly what Wayne and Marga were doing when he passed. They were celebrating and seeing what the world has to offer. So with that in mind, please remain seated as Kathy and Deanna sing Big Yellow Taxi. And if you're up for it, please join in on the chorus. Don't it always seem to go?
Let's start that again, shall we? Sorry. Can you hear me? Yes, all right. Let's do that again. Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot with a big hotel, a boutique and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Pop, 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 ooh, pop, 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 pop. Took all the trees, put them in a tree museum, and they charged the people $1.50 just to see 'em. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Pop, 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 ooh, pop, 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 pop. Hey, farmer, farmer, put away the DDT now. Give me spots on my apples, put the bees and the bees, please. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Pop, 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 ooh, pop, 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 pop. Late last night, heard the screen door slam, and a big yellow taxi took away my old man. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Pop, 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 pop. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Pop, 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 pop. Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot. Pop, 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 pop. Put up a parking lot.
Welcome to this morning's gathering of North Shore Unitarians, including those who are joining us by video. Welcome, everyone. My name is Sue Forbes, and I'm a member of your Sunday services team. This is a spiritual home for people who aspire to belong with heart, thrive in spirit, and act in service. Our take on religion encourages people to think for themselves, to discern what they believe about the big mysteries of the cosmos, to ponder questions like, why are we here alive on this pale blue dot, as Carl Sagan dubbed it? when the rest of the universe appears lifeless? And while we're here, how shall we live? And what happens after we die? And just so you know, I was planning to pose those questions before we got Wayne's news. And so maybe this is an example of what Carl Jung would call synchronicity. Now, we have no creed here to guide our investigations. Instead, we seek wisdom together, drawing on our 8 principles and on a variety of ancient traditions and modern secular and scientific resources. Perhaps you arrived here this morning seeking renewal in a weary world, or you've come with love and energy to share by being in community. Perhaps you're worrying about the future, or you're just grateful for today, maybe both at the same time. Know that in this place, we're with you, for it's in community that we share our strengths, work to keep the flame of love and justice burning bright, and support each other in times of need. We also share responsibilities. In fact, we describe what we do here as distributed ministry. So whether speaking from the lectern, welcoming people at the door, or having a kind word for someone who is hurting, we share the tasks of making this a warm and worthy spiritual home for kind, curious people. We also recognize our ancestors who shine a light from the past. We remember that our tradition has evolved from Western liberalism's Judeo-Christian values, and we lovingly acknowledge that the lands on which we meet are the traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, who have lived here for thousands of years with their own rich culture and ways of governance. And weren't we fortunate last week to have one of our Indigenous neighbors with us? So timely as we foster the reconciliation process. In this community of care, we hold and witness each other through the seasons of our lives. There's room here for joy and sorrow, celebration and mourning, and everything in between. So today we have the sad news about Wayne, of course, but we have other updates. You may know that Pat Brand is not well and is still in hospital, and that just this week, Roy Brand is recovering from surgery, but he's already home. He's on bed rest for a couple of weeks at least, and his kids, Megan and Adam, are looking after them both. So it's good that they have that support. And are there any other sorrows here today that somebody would like mentioned? Well, that's good, because we have several celebratory mentions, and I'm glad Sanford here. I didn't get Sanford's permission to do this, but I just want Sanford and Betty Ann are longtime members of our church, and Sanford has just published his 2nd book called Living with Purpose, a themed memoir. And you'll remember that Sanford spoke to us on this topic last year, and his book was spurred on by that experience. And there's even a chapter in here on the North Shore Unitarian Church and his experience here. And we came off pretty well, I think. And the book cover, you can't see it, but is the photo that Sanford used in his service. And then on the back are Sanford and the love of his life, Betty Ann. And then the dedication is to Matthew, Lynn, who are their children, and their descendants, with the hope they live happy, fulfilling, and purposeful lives. So congratulations, Sanford.
So do I light a candle?
Not yet. And then we have 2 other announcements that I've just found out about it. One is that our 2 favorite young people who spend a lot of time here at the church on Sunday mornings, Steele and Eileen, are officially dating. So we're all happy. Yeah. And then the third...
He'll kill you for that one.
No, I got permission for that one. And then the third one is that today is Karen Funt's 75th birthday. So congratulations, Karen. Any other joys? Okay, well, now for all the joys and sorrows that remain in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, we'll light a second candle with a few words by the mystic and poet William Blake. Joy and woe are woven fine, a clothing for the soul divine. And then today, we light a third candle, specifically to acknowledge that we're just 2 days shy of the second anniversary of October 7th, 2023. On that day, heinous violence tore through the lives of communities of many people. And since then, more violence, grief, and anguish have spread in widening circles, touching countless people with pain and suffering that knows no borders. As we light this flame, we remember all who have died, all who mourn, and all who still live in fear and anguish. And we hold tenderly the truth that hate is never the solution to our differences. So may this light remind us of our shared humanity. May it kindle in us the hope that even in the darkest times, the smallest flame of peace can stir feelings of compassion for all who suffer. We'll now turn to a song that has carried many of us through both grief and hope. Please stand.
One more time.
As I begin the reflections today, you may recall that in a previous service I noted that we each experience life through our karmic bundles, those individualized packets of traits over which we have no control, our genetic makeup, our family of origin dynamics, the culture we grew up in, the opportunities we encounter, and so on. And looking at our lives through that karmic bundle lens can be very liberating. It suggests we're all just doing the best we can as we make our way through life. Now, more recently, I've come across a wonderful book by a British author, Oliver Burkeman, that supports this perspective. It's called Meditations for Mortals, 4 weeks to embrace your limitations and make time for what counts. Burkeman, for decades, was a self-professed time management addict. He tried all the productivity systems, always looking for the perfect one. But one day he had an epiphany that turned his thinking upside down. And he wrote about that journey in a previous book of his called 4,000 weeks. Time management for mortals. And if you're wondering why 4,000 weeks, that's because that's how many you'll have if you live to be 76.9 years old. He rounded the number for the book's purposes. And both books offer a radical proposition. Instead of fighting against our human constraints, including our limited time here, let's work with them. Let's treat our limitations not as obstacles to overcome, but as the very conditions that make a meaningful life possible. He reminds us we live in an age of infinite options. Theoretically, we can go anywhere, be anything. Yet the cereal aisle alone offers enough choice to paralyze a philosopher, which is why Barry and I shop at Costco, way fewer choices. Big store, but way fewer choices. See, here's the paradox. An abundance of choice and possibility often leaves us feeling anxious and unsatisfied. But something shifts once we realize we can't have and do everything. When we accept our karmic bundles and our FOMO, our fear of missing out, that's when life gets lighter. If we think about it, our UU tradition has long celebrated human potential, our capacity for growth, learning, and even transformation. But Berkman reminds us that potential without limits is not liberation. It's paralysis. When everything is possible, nothing feels quite good enough. But some of those feelings dissolve when we accept that being an ordinary human facing an unknowable future alongside other humans who insist on having their own personalities and issues, that life isn't about achieving more, it's about practicing imperfectionism. So this second book of Berkman is a collection of short essays. I'd call it short essays more than meditations. It's not really meditations, about how to do just that. He suggests reading them daily-ish, so flexibly, over 28 days, that's the 4 weeks, that we read them that way. And when you experiment with your ideas, you'll see that they can help you approach projects. For me, it was like preparing for this service in ways that don't overwhelm me, which I confess has been known to happen. Just ask long-suffering Barry. Anyway, so today I want to share some of Berkman's tips with you. And as I do, I'm going to invite you to consider learning more about them yourself. I propose that anyone interested get a copy of the book and work through it with me over 4 weeks in November. And then once a week after church, we'll gather to chat informally about what we've learned and tried or not. And together we'll experience Berkman coming across like a wise friend saying, listen, life is messy and we know it will end. And that's actually okay. Let me tell you why. Now, I'll say more about these get-togethers later, but for now, I'm just going to try to entice you with some of his ideas. His essays build into 4 gentle steps that take up the 4 weeks. Week 1, face the facts of our finitude. So that includes our mortality and our limits, our karmic bundles. Week 2, take bold but imperfect actions. And here's the kicker, without treating them like a burden. Week 3, learn to let go. And as you already know, this is an ancient spiritual practice, but Berkman adds a few twists. And finally, week 4, show up as fully as possible in the everyday swim of things. Otherwise, we risk treating life as something to get through, until one day we think, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you've got till it's gone? So week 1 is about facing the facts of our finitude. One powerful way to do that is to tackle productivity debt. That nagging feeling that we owe the universe a certain amount of achievement just for being alive. It's often framed in a phrase that both inspires and troubles me. the idea that we need to live up to our potential. So we keep going to school or joining self-improvement programs in an effort to prove that we deserve to be here. But here's the thing, potential is infinite. Time is not. So we're better to give ourselves some grace, as Rebecca so beautifully taught us in her service last spring. Grace works regardless of our beliefs around a loving God, or as the Buddhists might put it, a loving awareness. For all of us, it means prioritizing connection, belonging, awe, wonder, and most of all, love, including self-love and acceptance. We don't have to earn the right to exist. We just need to accept that we do exist and feel the miracle in that. So let's try that right now. No falling asleep here now. But close your eyes for just 15 seconds and feel the wonder of being alive, conscious, here on this pale blue dot. And just rest in the miracle of that sense of aliveness. Sit quietly. Please open your eyes. But it's enough, isn't it? I hope you felt that. It's enough to simply be, to be here today together. Because there's nothing more valuable, moral, or ethical than people loving and accepting one another. Another tip, change your relationship to information. I've found this really useful because a while back I was reading way too much American news. So I decided to support, and this is with dollars because I want them to survive, I decided to support more Canadian publications. And that's in addition to the Globe and Mail, which, by the way, we still get delivered to the door because we just find a printed newspaper way more informative than digital news. I don't know if you find the same thing, but it just gives us a broader perspective. But then what happened was that soon the piles of unread magazines and an overflowing inbox left me feeling guilty. Berkman's remedy? Don't treat your to-do pile like a bucket to be emptied. Treat it like a river flowing past. Dip in. Take what catches your eye and let the rest go. And then while you're at it, resist the urge to stockpile knowledge like a squirrel hoarding nuts. Because everything you read leaves a mark, even if it doesn't stay in our conscious memories. And since my memory isn't what it used to be, I find that idea alone really liberating. But Berkman's philosophy is that the real benefits of reading don't come from accumulating facts, but from how reading shapes our sensibilities. And from that shaping, good work and ideas will later flow. I love that thought. The real benefits of reading don't come from accumulating facts, but from how it shapes our sensibilities. And isn't that, really why we gather here on Sunday mornings? Not because we need more information. We have it all in the palm of our hands now. We gather here because this too shapes our sensibilities. Over time, we become kinder, gentler, more justice-loving people, with more to offer our families and communities. And along the way, we make friends and share laughter and support each other on life's journey. Another Berkman tip is this: there are no perfect solutions in life, only trade-offs. This perspective turns agonizing choices into simpler math calculations. So for example, Barry and I were thinking about downsizing from our family home. It had become just too much. But we had to accept, among other things, that we wouldn't be able to house and entertain our large and growing family. And at the time, that was a tough decision. Now, 13 years later, I don't always see that as a negative. But at the time, it was hard. And back then, the no perfect solutions, only trade-offs framework would have made our decision easier rather. It would have freed us from chasing that impossible solution that makes everything perfect and everyone happy. There are a lot of other week one tips, but the overall message here is this. Our limitations aren't bugs in the system of life, they're features. They're what make choice possible, action possible, meaning possible. Week 2 moves on from accepting our limitations to leveraging them. It's about taking action to get stuff done without losing our minds. A good start is to decide what's worth doing by identifying our life task or tasks, which isn't as difficult as it sounds. It doesn't mean finding your dream job or discerning your deepest purpose in the sense that Sandford means it, although there's a connection there, there's a real connection there. But for Berkman, a life task is more immediate, and it has 2 characteristics. First, it must have a level of difficulty, but the good kind of difficulty in that it challenges us and takes us out of our comfort zone. And second, it has to be something we actually can do. So for me, doing this with you fits the bill as a life task. It certainly takes me out of my comfort zone, and hopefully you'll take something away from it, however small. But you know, this task, it also gives me energy and a sense of aliveness. It makes more interesting and fulfilling, partly because I'm always on the lookout for what shimmers, for what speaks to me that might help us make meaning together in community. Another Berkman tip is the 3 to 4 hour rule. He says we make the most progress on our task by limiting ourselves to 3 or 4 hours of intense mental focus each day, and then resist the urge to go longer even if we're on a roll. Use the rest of the day for your lighter tasks or family time or for the usual chaos of life. And this again has been a real gift in my days. And it's not a new approach. Charles Darwin worked on his research for about 4 hours each morning. And then he spent the rest of his day walking, reading novels, and playing with his children. And there are many others who've done the same. It works. And what else works? Think of your problems not as problems, but as just life. They're what happens when we're alive and engaged. So, you know, when you go to change your internet provider, and your email address, or worse, both at the same time, don't view it as a problem that requires willpower. It's just life in the electronic age, and it's a chance to learn something new and keep your brain shipshape. Which moves us on to letting go, or the art of getting out of your own way and letting it be. So let's stand and sing some well-known words of wisdom to that effect.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me, shining till tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
In learning to let go, Berkman says, don't make the mistake of thinking that everything that's difficult has more merit. Some good things are easy to do. So he starts the week with a revolutionary question. What if this, meaning whatever grim task we have ahead of us, what if this is actually a lot easier than we think? What if we don't need more self-discipline, just less self-interference? Yeah, think about it. How often do we procrastinate and fret over some dreaded task, maybe a tough conversation or a major creative project, only to discover that once we start, it's easier than we think to keep going. So his advice, just take one small action toward your goal. You want to get fit? Don't spend time hunting for the perfect gym. Just start taking the stairs when and if you can. You want to be more productive? No time management system necessary. Just set your timer and promise to not look at your emails until it rings. And that alone is a godsend. Berkman also addresses the fascinating paradox of control. He says the driving force of modern life is the fatally misguided idea that peace of mind and prosperity lie in bringing it ever more fully under our control. But the result is that we experience the world in an endless series of things, that we must master or learn or succeed at. But when we're always striving like that, life loses its resonance, its capacity to touch, move, and absorb us. Because as soon as any experience can be completely controlled, it feels cold and lifeless. A friend or a partner with no quirky, annoying behaviors, they do become kind of boring, I think, after a while. No boredom in our family at all. And a job with no challenges or surprises loses its ability to engage us. So that drive for perfection becomes really just procrastination in fancy clothes. We tell ourselves that we're maintaining high standards when we're really just avoiding the vulnerability of putting something imperfect into the world. In the end, though, what brings fulfillment and resonance in life is not being in control, but being in kind of a reciprocal relationship with life. Sometimes it's like a dance where sometimes we lead and sometimes we follow. Which is a great lead into week 4, which is about discovering what it means to actually show up for our lives as fully as possible in the swim of things. So not the life we wish we had, not the life we might have someday, but the life that's happening right now in all its imperfect glory. To explain this, Berkman compares striving towards sanity and operating from sanity. When we strive towards sanity, he says, we tend to do everything in service of that future state where we'll finally be allowed to relax and enjoy life. But we keep postponing that time. And when we operate from sanity, we treat the present moment as a place where peace of mind might actually be possible, even as we work to change our lives for the better. So he has a couple of thoughts on this. One, treat your to-do list as a menu, not a mandate. So to operate from sanity, we have to acknowledge up front that we won't get everything done on that list. But then we select from the menu based on what matters most right now. And this simple reframe eliminates the constant background stress of feeling behind. We're not behind, we're choosing. And choosing is something humans are actually quite good at. Number 2, I like this one, practice scruffy hospitality. Now, this philosophy brings down my anxiety levels when hosting. And that anxiety has been increasing as I age, even for our family dinners. And I know it's been increasing for some of you too, because we've talked about it even just this morning. Thanksgiving's coming up, right? Those anxiety levels go up. But scruffy hospitality means not waiting for everything in your house to be in order before you host and serve friends. It means you hunger more for connection, which you can get from serving a simple meal of what you have, or just turning a formal dinner into a potluck. It means you're more interested in quality conversation than in the impression your home or meal makes. I love that word, scruffy. It's kind of warm and friendly and not perfectionist. And of course, the strategy can be applied to many things in life, not just hosting and entertaining. Meditations for Mortals concludes with a reflection that might sound depressing, but I think it's actually quite freeing. This is, fresh starts are impossible. We are already here in time, shaped by everything that's come before, with whatever personality, resources, and challenges we find ourselves having. And screwing up our determination and insisting we're leaving the past behind rarely changes much. We're better to fully accept who we are with the karmic bundles we have and move on to do one thing today that truly matters. Perhaps that's exactly what our overwhelmed, endlessly striving culture needs most: permission to say yes to life, with its darkness and light. Permission to be an ordinary human, to be limited, to be imperfect, and to find in that very imperfection the seeds of living with greater depth, meaning, and purpose. May it be so.
Thank you, Sue. That was wonderful. I'd like to ask us all, including me, to take a moment thinking about what Sue has said. This song by Fia encourages us as well to accept. It's called Shedding Skins, but she also talks about embracing the dark and the light within ourselves. I would like each of you to take a second and imagine something that feels like it's one of the dark shadows that's harder to have in your life. And then to imagine you're seeing that in a wee one, a child, that same quality. Maybe that little one who has absolutely mastered the art of whispering. And embrace that as you would embrace that small child.
I am open, I am free, and my life is breathing me. I surrender to the will of the divine. No more stories of the past. I am shedding skins at last, and I realize I'm already in heaven. And the moment I stop running from the demons in my head, and instead I choose to love them. When saying yes to life, both shadow and light, my suffering is done and I come alive. I am born and I will die, by each breath the final sigh. Doesn't matter where I go, I cannot hide. When I find my sense of peace, I can walk through life with ease. I might fail 1,000 times, but I shall rise. And the moment I stop running from the demons in my head, and instead I choose to love them. When saying yes to life, both shadow and light, my suffering is done and I come alive. I want to feel it all. I wear my heart on my sleeve, saying, here I am, can't you see me? Oh, I am beautiful and messed up in the most glorious way. When standing in my truth, who cares what people say? From the moment we stop running from the demons in our heads, and instead we choose to love them. When saying yes to life, both shadow and light, our suffering is done and we come alive.
I now invite us into the spiritual practice of generosity. Will the ushers please come up as I explain that all of our Sunday offerings, unless designated as part of your pledge, go to local nonprofits that we value. And so any of your October donations, unless otherwise directed, will go to the Edible Garden Project. Now, the project operates 2 farms on public parkland and 5 garden sites on the North Shore. And their produce is shared with local food security groups who distribute it to those most in need. You can donate today using a variety of payment methods as indicated on the screen. And if you pay by cash, please be sure to put it in an envelope with your name and address on it, and we'll send you a tax receipt. We'll accumulate those and send you a tax receipt at the end of the year. Please take the offering. in gratitude for all that we do for people beyond our walls, we receive these gifts. Thank you. And we also thank all of you who pledge annually. I just want to mention that. These facilities and our wonderful staff and everything are supported by our pledge contributions, but you could put your pledge into the basket if that was your preference. But look at this wonderful facility that we have here, and the great staff that we have, including our leads in the choir, who we're missing today. We couldn't do it without your financial support. And we couldn't do it without our wonderful volunteers also who help us put the services together. You should have seen it. It was just a hive of activity. Everybody knows what they're doing and they're busy, and Malcolm's still doing it, and we just appreciate all of the help to put on our services. So thanks for everything, including being here with us this morning. Now, just a few details on the proposed discussion group. As I said, it'll run for 4 Sundays in November, beginning November 2nd. So that gives you a month if you're interested to buy the book and then reflect on 7 short essays. And then we'll gather after lunch to share your ideas on what you found useful or not and have some fun. Maybe for an hour or so. It won't be too long. It's pretty informal. So we'll just see where it goes. But if you could let me know, give me an indication if you might be interested maybe fairly soon, maybe after the service, just to see if it's a go. No pressure. And I'll get your emails and ask you to confirm your interest then next week sometime and talk more about the book. So thanks for that. Now next Sunday is Thanksgiving with Rebecca Lindley at the helm. Please join us for an uplifting celebration centering on authentic gratitude. And if you haven't done so already, we forgot ours this morning, please bring some non-perishable foodstuffs and or toiletries with which Julia Cavell will kindly gather and deliver to the North Shore Women's Center, which is an organization we also support. Today we offer a casserole lunch prepared so graciously by Diane Hicks. We ask for a $5 donation, but if you don't have it with you today, please join us anyway. And it's my fault if lunch isn't quite ready, because we added a couple of new elements and I thought the service might go a little longer today. And so I warned Diane, so just enjoy the socialized time before lunch if it's not quite ready. And if you're new when you go to the lunch, if you want to sit at the table with the white tablecloth, there'll be a board member there who will be available to chat and answer any questions that you might have. But before we close, let's sing together a familiar song about life. We laugh, we cry.
Sometimes
Indeed, we do laugh and we do cry because we are humans who are blessed in many ways and limited in others. Meditations for Mortals is ultimately a love letter to those limitations. Its core message is one of profound acceptance, married with gentle actions that include facing the facts of our finitude, taking bold but imperfect actions, learning to let go, and showing up as fully as possible in the everyday swim of things. As we extinguish our chalice, let's remind ourselves we don't need to be perfect before we die. Our limitations are not reasons for despair, but an invitation to deeper wisdom, greater love and connection, and a more abundant life. We extinguish this flame. The world calls us to live with depth, meaning, and purpose. Now please join hands or touch elbows and sing together our closing song, Circle Round for Freedom.
Keep the